I've been a busy pumpkin this morning. I've done 2 videos already. Now I just got to edit them so I can upload them and get them posted tomorrow. Let's see who we got in the house. We got Connie Jones. We got Gladys Pellegrino. We got Mardell Lamb. Well, hello, Mardell. You're almost a stranger. How's everybody doing today? And you probably hear my central air unit running, but I can't help it. It's already 94 degrees outside, so the AC is going to run, and you're going to hear it. So, how are you doing, Mardell? Well, I got all those tree limbs burnt last night in my fire pit. The other ones I'll move to the back of the yard and burn them in the fire pit as I want a fire. And not have a big barn fire like I did in that video, which will be posted in the morning. Rainy and cold where Mardell is. Oh my goodness. We could use a little bit of that rain. And there's Susan. Hi, Susan. Yeah, we got so much rain, so much, so often for the last month or so. My plants were drowning, and now all of a sudden it quit raining, and it's turned into a heat wave. My plants are suffering. I tell you, they're suffering bad. And I put compost tea on them yesterday, but still, they need water right now. And there is Frankie. Hello, Frankie. How's Frankie doing? Well, thank you. He said he loved you. Love you too. I had to get me some lemonade fixed. It's lemonade with watermelon and electrolytes and stuff for energy. Because I've been sweating so much. Susan said she's trying to cool off. Yeah, I've seen a few scorpions around my yard too. As long as they stay in the yard, I don't want them coming in my house. Yes, ma'am, we still have water restrictions. I can only water 1 day a week. But the other part of the week I can water with my compost tea that I keep in my containers. So on my watering day, I also fill up my containers. So then maybe Wednesday or Thursday of that week, I'll have compost tea to water my plants to help keep them alive. But some of them need compost tea right now, I noticed. Frankie said, I'm from Fly Creek. I don't know where Fly Creek is, Frankie. Is that in Texas, or what state is that? Yeah, we still got homes going up in this subdivision left and right. It's putting so much strain on the water company they can't pump water and purify it fast as the residents are using it because there's so many more residents here. But they need to get the parts and get it fixed. Just like my water heater. I'm still waiting on parts for my water heater. They were supposed to come, I think, Thursday, and they didn't come. They didn't come Friday. Or they were supposed to come Friday. They didn't come. They didn't come yesterday. York? Where's York? Oh, New York? Is that where you're saying you're from, Frankie? New York? Yeah, that's what I thought he meant. I used to live in New York growing up as a kid. That's where my mom is from. My dad is from North Carolina. They got together on the USS North Carolina battleship when he was in port in New York City on leave, I guess, and that's how he met my mom up there. Sometimes I think these computers and keyboards alike have a mind of their own. You type in one letter and you think you got it, and you look at the screen after you posted your comment, and it looks like Chinese. And that's where Gladys is from. She said she's from New York City, but she lives in Connecticut now. And there's Susie. Hello, Susie. How's Susie doing today? And Shelly Edwards. And there's the old farm show. Hello. I don't think I've seen you in chat before. But welcome. Maybe you were in the last one. I don't know. We had a couple of newbies last time, I think. Raining. Send some of that rain to me. We could use some more. It's been hot, hot, hot the last few days. And my plants are suffering because my pots are drying out. I can't keep them watered enough. They got used to the overabundance of rain. And now it's dried off. The heat is hit. And my plants are suffering. And some of them may not make it even though I put water on them and compost tea. I don't know. I had to put a cough drop in my mouth, y'all, because I've been coughing. I was out there at that fire last night for quite a while, so my eyes were all icky this morning. My throat was scratchy. I've used allergy meds, nasal spray 2 or 3 times already today. I put in eye drops twice to clear my eyes up. Oh, DS and grandkids says I've been best fishing in New York. Ashhoken Reservoir. Well, as a kid growing up, we never went fishing in New York that I remember. I guess my mom and dad were too busy working. We never went fishing anywhere. Didn't even know of anywhere to go. We lived just off the East River, but to my knowledge, I've never known anybody to go fishing there. You remembered 4 p.m. Eastern? Well, good, Dennis. Yeah, I've been wanting to go fishing, and pretty soon I'm going to be doing a fishing video as soon as I can get my water heater straightened out. Because I've been waiting around the house hoping the plumber would send me a message telling me he's on his way with the parts, but it hasn't happened yet. Susan said she's going to have a fish fry for me. Already had one fish fry. Y'all got to see it. You wasn't here, but I got more fish I need to fry, that's for sure. Yeah, I heard it. I heard you said she was going to have a fish fry for you. Love me some catfish. Well, I got some catfish to fry, and I got some flounder too. I haven't cooked my little bit of flounder that I've got. You do too? Mine is too. I put part of what I got before in the freezer and froze it, and I only fried half of it because there was a lot of fish. And there's Ashley Chapman. Hello, Ashley. How is Ashley doing today? Gladys says she's eating fish sticks, a fish stick sandwich. We got good restaurants to go eat seafood. We don't really have a good place to buy fresh seafood here. Everything we buy is, places like Supercenter, Walmart, HEB, somewhere like that. Their delis, sometimes they have fresh fish fillets that you can buy, or sometimes you can find some frozen. But that's the only place you can buy fresh fish unless you catch it yourself. And of course, you're not going to catch flounder and stuff in Granbury Lake. You might catch you a catfish, but catfish. Oh, fish sticks dipped in ketchup. I like that. I always covered mine in ketchup when I fixed fish sticks. Yeah, you can buy fresh fish out here, but it's pretty expensive. My God, I think catfish fillets is something like $9 a pound. I'll go catch one. I don't eat catfish very often, but most of the time if I do eat it, I catch it because I can't afford to pay that kind of price for catfish. I do once in a while buy salmon, the fresh salmon, because I love fresh salmon. But I can get a good size fillet and cut it in half, and that's 2 meals for me. Yeah, the closest Red Lobster I have is in Fort Worth. So that's at least an hour's drive away from me. Yeah, tartar sauce. Sometimes I'll make my own tartar sauce to go with my fish. Or my not my hush puppies, but my fish sticks. Yeah, you're making me want a fish plate too. I just ate a big old hunk of crackling cornbread. I did a video on crackling cornbread that I got to upload and post tomorrow. I got to edit it. You got to get a recipe for mayo. It's real easy to make. It's mostly just egg whites. Yeah, I've made it before, but I don't remember exactly what I put in it or how much. But I know it's pretty easy to make. It's not real complicated. I had a friend that was exposed to some kind of chemical at Comanche Peak Nuclear Power Plant when he worked out here. And it just messed up his whole immune system and everything. So he had to grow and make just about everything he ate from scratch because he couldn't buy anything from the store and eat it because of the additives in it or anything in a box, because of the preservatives and stuff they added to it. He had to get chickens. He started raising chickens so he could get fresh eggs because he knew what his chickens ate. There were certain eggs that come from certain places he couldn't eat because of what they're fed. So he grew his own chicken. So when he ate chicken, he ate it fresh right out of his yard. When he ate eggs, it was from his chickens because he knew what he fed them. When he ate vegetables, they came out of his garden because he knew what went into growing his garden so he could eat it. I mean, he was in bad shape for a long time. Well, this one calls for one whole egg, but usually I use just egg whites in mine. A half a tablespoon of lemon juice. You can use 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, a quarter teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 cup of olive oil. You add egg, lemon juice, vinegar, mustard, and salt to the jar that came with your your immersion blender. Slowly pour the oil on top and let it settle for a minute. Place your stick blender in the jar and press firmly to the bottom, making sure it's covering the egg yolk. Oh man. Turn it on and keep it pressed against the bottom of the jar for at least 10 to 15 minutes or seconds without moving it. You can put it in a blender or a mixer, or you can do it by hand. Once the mayonnaise starts to emulsify and thicken, slowly move the stick blender up and down to fully combine the ingredients. Stir the mayonnaise and place an airtight container in the refrigerator. But that one has just 6 ingredients. There was another one that I looked at just a minute ago. It only had 5 ingredients. Let's see what it was. But I've never used the whole egg before. I've just used the egg whites. But it's good to see that, there's recipes where you can use the whole egg instead of just the egg whites. Because I said if I just use the egg whites, what am I going to do with the yolk after that, I was trying to get back to the one that only had 5 ingredients. Yeah, where's my thumbs up, y'all? Oh, I got 12 out of 31 viewers. Okay, this makes 1 cup of mayonnaise. If I can see the ingredients. 1 large egg, cold right out of the refrigerator. Pinch of salt and pepper. 1 teaspoon Dijon mustard. Juice of a half of a lemon. 1 cup light avocado oil, or any light or mild oil you like. So you could use a vegetable or cooking oil, I guess. But it says gently add the whole egg, making sure the yolk doesn't break, into a wide-mouthed mason glass jar or tall liquid measuring cup. Add salt, pepper, mustard, lemon juice, and avocado oil. The salt and pepper, mustard, and lemon should be to the taste, so you season it to your taste. Feel free to add more or less according to your preferences. If you have an immersion blend, I don't pronounce that correctly, immersion blender, then use that. Trap the egg fully, turn it on, and as soon as it starts to emulsify, you can start moving it around until the mayo is fully done. This takes less than 1 minute. Store the mayo in a tightly sealed mason jar. Pop it in the fridge and enjoy. Homemade mayo can last in the refrigerator for 2 weeks if stored properly. So that's not hard to make at all. If you ever need mayo and you got olive oil or cooking oil, you got eggs and some salt and pepper, and you can make your own mayo. That's pretty good. I've made it once just to see what it was like to make it, and I couldn't believe how easy it was. And I know it didn't take much to make it, but it'd been a long time since I've made any. Good to make stuff from scratch. Oh, yes, it is. And there's Torn. I think you're a newbie because I've not seen you in chat before. And there's Susie. We got 2 Susies in the house. Yep, he's new. Well, she's new. I don't know if it's male or female. But welcome, Torn. We're glad to have you. Me too. It says be sure to put it on live chat. Mine keeps going to top chat. Don't know why. You know, I always forget when I go live to put mine on live chat. But if you'll just go to the top of the chat box, it says live chat or top chat. You can click on that arrow and a menu will drop down and you can click on live chat. I just did mine. Well, thank you, Susie. Well, thank you, Torn. He says, I thank you for the motivation. And there's Mary Zenner. Hi, hello, Mary and Cindy. Race Masters. I don't think, you must be new. You enjoyed the soup recipe. Okay, well, good. Elaine Dickinson's in the house. Hello, Elaine. Well, thank you. You like my shirt. Race Master's asking if I was a teacher. Well, in a way, I was a substitute teacher. And I was one of their preferred subs because I've got a college education, so I knew enough about the subjects that I was subbing for that I could help the students with their assignments. And the teachers would rather have me in their classroom because I could help them like that. And they always knew if they had me as a substitute teacher that their kids would never miss an assignment because maybe they didn't understand something or didn't know how to do it, because they knew I would work with them and help them out to get their assignments done. I could have subbed 10 days a week if I could have split myself in half. Or 10 times a week, you know what I'm saying. If there was 10 days in a week, I'd be subbing every one of those days. Well, thank you, Judy B., and welcome. Cindy says, I've been on only once. I've been watching you now mow the lawn. A nice mower with the trimmer. Yeah, I like that because you can trim and mow at the same time. I don't have to mow and then go around with hand carrying a weed eater to edge trim. I hate doing that. And as long as you keep the cord replaced, it mows really good. When it starts not mowing good, I know it needs a cord replaced on it. And they're easy enough to do because you buy it by the roll. I mean, mine came in like a 50 or 100 foot roll. I watch every video. I don't chat much because I watch on TV. Well, I'm happy you watch, Elaine. You know, I've got over 1,000 videos out there. That's a lot of watching to catch up. My eyes look terrible today. They're irritated because of being out there at the fire pit last night. Cindy says, I just know eventually you will. No, I can't let Lucky in the house. He's not going to be a house cat. He's not my cat. I fed him a couple of times because he will not let little Buddy eat. And unless I can get little Buddy to come in the house, you got to give food to little Lucky too, because he'll take little Buddy's food away from him. Little Buddy Lucky has not been fixed. And you can't let a cat come in the house and stay that hasn't been fixed, because he'll spray everywhere. They mark their territory, the males do. He will spray on everything and it'll smell like cat urine. It'll make your house smell awful. And I can't do that. Only maybe a month or a couple weeks of watching for me. I don't catch all the lives, but do try. Well, good, Torn. I'm glad you're watching. What to use for that cat outside smell? I have no idea, but I can't have him spraying in the house. He will, he'll ruin your house. Little Buddy's been fixed. I don't mind him coming in, and I didn't mind him coming in because he was the only cat. And I'll still let little Buddy in real extreme bad weather or stuff like that. And I've been trying to let him come in just to eat so he doesn't fight with the other cats. But most of the time now, he doesn't even want to come in to eat. He wants you to put his food out on the porch. And if you do that, that other cat will take it away from him. They'll fight. So You know, I can't afford 2 cats. I can't even afford one. And I wouldn't be able to feed even little Buddy, but my subscribers have been sending me food, especially the anonymous giver has been sending me lots and lots of food for little Buddy. So I'm keeping him fed, but you know, if I go feeding another cat, that's twice as much food. And I can't ask anybody to keep sending me cat food to feed all the cats that I'm going to feed in the neighborhood. You know, if I feed everyone that comes up, I can't do it. Well, I don't know what you're watching on, Dennis, but if you're on a laptop or even a cell phone, if you look directly underneath the picture, the video, there's a bar that goes across, or not a bar, but there's writing that goes across it. And on the kind of right side, there's a thumbs up and there's a thumbs down. You just click on one of those. If you click on the thumbs up, you just gave me a thumbs up. If you click on the one going down, you just gave me a downer, saying that you don't like my video. And it should be like drawn in white with the same background the rest of your screen has. And when you click on it, it'll turn white, showing that you clicked on a thumbs up. Yeah, I can't afford to take cats or dogs to the vet. I can't afford to feed them. That's the reason I just chose not to have any more cats or dogs after my 2 died, because I can't afford them. I'd have to be making a lot more on video YouTubes here on YouTube to be able to feed 2 cats. If it was not for the food and everything that people have been sending me, I couldn't even feed little Buddy. Okay, we'll go right directly under the picture that you're watching me on. And look over to your right side of the screen below it. And you should see a thumbs up and a thumbs down. I'm trying to bring it up on my screen so I'll see exactly what you're looking at. Well, on my cell phone, it's to the left, Dennis. I was looking at my laptop, and on the laptop, the thumbs up and thumbs down it shows on the right side. On my cell phone, it's over on the left side. But you just see a little hand with a thumb up, and you'll see a hand with a thumbs down. Just click on the thumbs up. It should lighten up. You got it. Good. Good deal. That wasn't hard at all, was it? Yeah, I was successful. Well, yeah, whoopee! I got another thumbs up. Oh, here's a good quote. The title is Don't Wait for Opportunities. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. That sounds pretty reasonable. Because a lot of times if you sit there and wait for something to happen, it's not going to happen. Sometimes you got to get up and make it happen. Dennis says, I'm too acclimated to my landline. I still got to finish mowing. I did mow a little bit in the video last night when I had the fire going, just on this side of the around the green shed and up toward the rock garden side of the house. Because there was so many blanket flowers there, it was just not looking good. But I still have the whole other side of the yard over here and the other garden to mow. And I'll probably do that later today. When it cools off this evening before dark, I'll get out there and mow that. I think I'll have enough time, the 2 hours I'll have when it cools down before it gets too dark. I have used vinegar, Susie. It helps some. And there's Jack of all trades, masters of none. Hello there. Welcome to our chat. And we got Louisiana Homestead. Welcome aboard. Well, I'm glad you saw me on Louisiana Homestead. Glad you came in to say hi. I go live, or try to, every Sunday at 3 p.m. and every Thursday at 7 p.m. and then whenever I want through the week. And thank you, Elaine Dickinson, for that super chat. How nice of you. That's awesome. Yep, sometimes you got to take yourself out of the shed and give yourself a whooping to get you motivated. Well, you're welcome, Susie. Yeah, opportunities and things don't come just by sitting down and not doing nothing. You can't just sit and wait. I mean, if you sat and wait, you never would go to work and do a day's job to get a week's paycheck, would you? Your paycheck would never come. You got to get up and do something for that paycheck. And opportunities come to those who get up and do something about it. And we got KK. Hello, KK. I always forget that you're not KK when you come up into the chat, the live chat. And I always forget that your other name. Louisiana Homestead, I guess. I have to keep that burned in my brain. That's KK, so I'll remember. And there's Joe Bonadonna, hello, welcome to our chat. And Teresa Severson, hello, Teresa, welcome. Well, thank you so much, Teresa. Well, I made a blooper in making my crackling cornbread, and I'm still undecided if I should edit it out or leave it in. It's what happens when you get distracted. And I had the handyman show up at my house in the middle of my video, and so I'm trying to talk to him and take care of business while my camera's rolling, and I'm trying to do my cornbread. Well, I may just leave it in there and let y'all watch it to see what happened. Pomegranate's good. Yeah, they are good. I've never tried to grow any. I've saved seed from a pomegranate to try to see if I could grow it, but I haven't tried yet. Thank you, Elaine. Susie says hello to everyone that she may have missed because she's been busy chatting. Well, that's okay. Chat away. Hi, was Madeline this morning for your chat, but now I am torn. LOL, to wait 14 days to change my mind back to normal. That's what I get for messing around with settings, LO. What? You've lost me with that statement, Torn. One of God's mistakes is pomegranate. It's good, but oh my God, it's so hard to eat. You got to break it open, get the seeds out, get what little bit there is on the seed off to eat, and then spit the seed out. I mean, it's pretty difficult to eat. Yes, it is, Torn. It's good to have positivity even on bad days or hard days. YouTube is strange. I eat mine seeds and all. Oh, I don't know if I could eat the seeds unless I swallowed them whole. Yeah, I don't have any idea what torn aca mandolin is. I don't know the difference. Should stay off technology. Don't eat cherry seeds. You may grow a cherry tree in your belly. And they are slippery. I still have not gotten around to cutting my okra. And when I do cut it, I know I'm just going to have to set it aside and save it for seed because it's too tough to eat. I have not harvested my little melon yet, and I need to get that off the vine because some animal is going to come by and realize it's ripe, and they're going to eat it for me. And I've got tomatoes I need to pick. They could kill you. Susie said, I lost my channel one day messing with the settings. I don't know how or what I did or how I got it back. I don't mess around anymore. Well, I started a channel years and years ago. It wasn't on gardening or cooking. It was on music, basically, me singing. And somebody hacked it. It was hacked and they changed my password. I could not even get back in my own channel, y'all. So years later is why I started this channel. But yeah, I started one year, many years ago, and it was on singing. But I never really pushed it or did a lot of work with it, so it didn't go anywhere anyway, so. Now, I did pick, I did pick 2 little pickling cucumbers and 3 squash. But I noticed when I turned to come in the house and my arms were already full, there was 2 more cucumbers hanging on the vine that I didn't see. And I haven't been out there to get them yet. But I actually picked 3 cucumbers. And I came in the house and peeled it and ate it. Because I couldn't wait to eat my first cucumber. Yeah. They start teaching kids technology with computers in kindergarten. Those kindergarten kids start using computers for part of their lessons. So all these kids going to school, running a computer, doing stuff on a computer is second nature to them already. And you know what? I've been so busy this week, and I set my live up in such a hurry. I forgot to go through StreamYard so I could put people up on the screen with me. But I promise, and I promise Kai, if he's listening, I am going to do that for Thursdays. Because he asked me to go live the other day, and I never got his message in time to go live on StreamYard so, we could be up on the screen. So, and here I've had, 2 or 3 lives since then, and I forgot to do it every time. But I will make it a point to do it for Thursday. And if I decide to go live between now and then, I may do it then as well. Just to make up for not doing it when Kai asked me to. Connie says, my mom had trouble with her computer when my son was 2 years old. He fixed mom's computer. Dennis said, as a kid, I was an expert with tying something bean cans and a string phone. With 2 bean cans and a string phone. Well, that makes me remember back when my granddaughter was about 2 years old. She got hold of the controls one day trying to change the channels and stuff. And do like she saw everybody else do. And I don't know what she did. The combination of buttons she pushed, she literally locked the TV. I mean, locked it now. My son went in there and picked up the remote and got it from her because he was afraid of what she was doing. By the time he got there, it was too late. She'd already locked him out of the remote. It didn't matter what button he pushed, it wouldn't do anything. It took him forever to get that thing unlocked. And of course, she didn't know she locked it. She was just pushing buttons, but she pushed the right combination. Yeah, they're not afraid to push buttons at 2 years old. It's just a button to them. Well, my granddaughter will turn 21 Wednesday, the 12th. I think the 12th is Wednesday, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. No, her birthday is the 13th. What am I thinking? The 12th. It was the 13th because I messaged her already because I know I'm not going to get to see her for her birthday. She said they got her schedule all messed up at work because she was born on Friday the 13th. Why am I thinking 12th? So I told her, I'd get her present in the mail Monday, tomorrow, and hopefully she'll get it by her birthday. Yeah, I don't know why I had 12 in my mind. She's born on Friday the 13th. The thing of it is, the 13th doesn't come on a Friday every year. It's on a Thursday this year, so I don't know how often it'll rotate around and actually hit Friday the 13th again. Dennis said I used to call emergency and the cops would show up at my parents' house. Your dad found out and I didn't do it anymore. I bet you he made sure you didn't do it again. That sounds like you might have got a whooping over that. But to dial 911 is not that difficult. But if say a 2-year-old hears you saying, about dialing 911, they may be able to end up dialing it. I don't know. If they don't, I don't know if they would know which number was 9 or 1. It's an edge trimmer walk behind mower. It does not have a blade on it. It has cord. And I buy my cord in a big roll. It's like 50 or 100, sometimes 200 feet long. And you just cut the lengths off you need, about a foot at a time. And I have to have 2 strings to go on each side. That's a lot easier than trying to sharpen a blade that's on mowers. I can't mow my yard with a blade mower. It'll hit the rocks and tear the blade up. And too, that big wheel mower is so much easier to push and maneuver around the yard than just a regular mower with 4 wheels. Dennis says, I thought it was 199. Well, I don't know what it is where you live, but it's 911 here. To call emergency. They're not really any more expensive than a regular mower. I bought mine at Home Depot. You can order them, have them delivered right to your house. Now, the ones I've had before were similar to this one. I could change the oil in it and everything by myself. I've not tried to change the oil in this one yet, so I don't know how difficult it'll be. I'm hoping it's not going to be very difficult because I'm not going to take it to the shop to have the oil changed. I'll figure it out. Well, here I am typing. I thought I was in the chat box and I wasn't. I'm putting it in the chat box for you. Big wheel walk behind string mower. There it is. At least that's what mine was called. Big wheel walk behind string mower. You can look them up online. You can find them every day online. Go to Home Depot. Like I said, Home Depot is where I've been buying mine at. And they usually last me 10 to 14 years each mower. Mine has 14-inch wheels on it. So it's so much easier to mow with than one of those other regular mowers. Unless you have a self-propelled motor on it, which my mowers didn't. You had to push them. You couldn't just walk behind them. Well, there's Kai. Hello, Kai. I'm so sorry about the other day. I didn't get your message until the next day. I've been so busy I had not even checked my email. Kai had asked me to go live. He had 2 hours to spare, and he was bored. Go live and do it through StreamYard because he wanted to chat. And I didn't get it till the next day, and I felt so bad. But the next time I go live, if it's Thursday, or maybe before then, unless now I go to Dairy Queen or Burger King or somewhere like that and take y'all with me, then I can't go, have you up there because I won't be able to do anything with chat. But if I go live from my house and I'm not showing you something or doing something with the live, then I'll go through StreamYard. But how are you, Kai? You doing okay? Yeah, I've got the worst allergies in the world. I don't think there's anything that I'm not allergic to. And I think one reason the doctors don't want to put me on shots this late in life is because they know I've lived all my life and suffered with it and took stuff off the counter or whatever the doctor would prescribe other than shots. And I think they're kind of afraid that Medicare will not pay for it. And if I get real bad, like with bronchitis from allergies, the doctor will give me a shot at that point. But I've never went in to get regular shots like every week or every month or anything like that. Torrin said, well, it's official. Your message came up on my chat before you said, there it is. Yeah, Pray that my allergies go away, but I don't think they're going anywhere. I've had allergies all my life, just not this bad. Because I wasn't allergic to everything in North Carolina, and I am here. I mean, everything in going, coming, eating, any whatever. I'm allergic to it out here in Texas. Yeah, I can't be around anybody smoking cigarettes. They can't be in my house smoking. It gives me bronchitis if I breathe the smoke. And I tried to stay upwind of the smoke in the fire pit yesterday, so I was not breathing the smoke. I fixed fire cider. I've been taking fire cider, and I forgot to take it today. Yeah, that fire cider, I usually take a teaspoon of it a day, mix it in with a little bit of water and heat it up and drink it. And it works pretty good. But I still have this cough and allergies when I'm breathing something I'm not allergic to. But it keeps your chest pretty clear. Yes. I can't use much air fresheners. I cannot burn scented candles. I put an air freshener in the Christmas tree one year because it smelled like pine. And I thought it would make it seem more like a real tree if it smelled like a pine tree. It made me sicker than a dog, y'all. I first got a headache, then I was nauseated. And I said, it's that smell that I'm smelling coming from that pine tree. So I had to take that tree out, air it out. I took that scent little packet out, threw it away, not in the house, outside. And it took a little bit for me to get over that, but getting it out of the house where I didn't breathe it anymore sure got rid of it. Yeah. People don't realize when they smoke, they can't hide it. I mean, they can smoke outside in the fresh air all they want. But after they get rid of that cigarette, they come in the house, you smell that cigarette, that smoke on their body. Yeah, it happens to anybody that smokes. You have the smell in your clothes, in your hair, on your breath. Yeah, I can't use the sprays and the air fresheners and the scents and all that. I'm allergic to all that. I can't even use most of the shampoo and conditioners because I'm allergic to it. They put perfumes in the conditioners and the shampoo, and I'm allergic to it. It drives me crazy. It will dry my skin out. My head will itch so bad, it's like I've got the mad itch. That's why I went back to using Prel. I grew up using that, and it never bothered me. So I went back to using Prel conditioner and shampoo. And I do have to order it because the store doesn't stock it. Walmart carries it, but they don't have it on the shelf. Not the kind that I get. It's bio. Let me get a thing of it, and I'll show you. I'm back, y'all. It took me a bit to walk down the hall to the bathroom to get it. But this is the one I use, and it's Prel. Just trying to hold it up to the camera so you could see. Prel conditioner and shampoo. It's the hyaluronic biotin shampoo and conditioner by Prel. I'm not allergic to this, y'all. I can use all this I want every single day, and it does not bother my skin. So if y'all have allergies to shampoo and conditioner, you might want to try that one. I think my granddaughter switched over to that too, because she was got allergies like me. She's allergic to the perfumes and all that. And I told her, I said, well, Prel makes a really good shampoo for people with allergies. And I said, they have several different ones. But I said, you got to go online to find them. They don't stock them in the store. And because I never can find that particular one in the store. I have to order it online. And I just order my conditioner and my shampoo together. And I think it runs like $25 for both of them. But, it lasts a pretty good while. And most of the time I'm washing my hair every day. But oh, there's Sheila McDaniel. Hello, Sheila. Oh, y'all are talking about, Connie says, my father-in-law chewed tobacco, and one of my brother-in-laws came to my in-laws' house. My father-in-law was using a Coke can to spit in. Mike was famous for taking a drink from everyone's soda. Oh, no. I can imagine what happened. He took a drink out of your dad's or your father-in-law Coke can. Oh, that's terrible. Just to think about it makes me shiver. Oh, God. My dad's mother, my grandmother, that lived in North Carolina, that lived on the farm, she didn't smoke, but she dipped snuff. Ugh. It looked gross. I hated it. But I love my grandma, But she dipped snuff every single day. There was always snuff in her mouth. And she had a spit can right beside her rocking chair on the porch or anywhere she was at the time. And she'd spit in that can. And that was the grossest thing I'd ever seen. It's like, oh no, I would never dip snuff or smoke chewing tobacco. But I've known people that chewed tobacco before that ended up with mouth cancer from the tobacco. Yeah, it does relax you and all that, I'm sure, but like cigarettes do most people. But I just always thought it was kind of gross. But like I said, I love my grandmother. She could do whatever she wanted to do. I didn't care. I just loved her. Yeah. I can't imagine his reaction when he got a mouthful of what he got, out of that tobacco spitting can. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, I bet it broke him from picking up somebody else's Coke can. My son tried to quit smoking, so he went to using those vape things, the smoking vape. What, I don't know what they call them. Well, the vapor cigarettes. But I told him, I said, they're bad too. I said, people have lost their face from smoking those vape pipes because they'll blow up. They'll blow up in your face. Yeah, I never liked him using the vape pipe or the cigarettes, but He started smoking when he was about 16, but he never would smoke in the house. He knew I had allergies, so if he was going to smoke a cigarette, he'd at least go outside under the tree outside, and he'd smoke outside. Yeah, vaping is dangerous. Like I said, I've known that people, I've heard in the news that those pipes or the vapes have blown up in their face and caused serious damage to their face and eyes because it blew up. Yeah, I mean, they put it to their mouth to take a puff off of it, and the thing blew up in their face. That could kill you, blind you for life, disfigure your face for life. I don't know either, Susie, except for what I've heard from other people, but I don't smoke. I never have. I'm allergic to the smoke and the cigarettes. I don't use the vape. I don't do any of that stuff. So I don't know a whole lot about it either, just what other people have mentioned to me, you know. Yeah, be careful of who you drink after. And it used to tickle me when my granddaughter was little. She'd be drinking like a Coke out of a bottle or drinking out of a cup. She'd take a sip and she might be eating something and part of what was in her mouth fell back in the cup. And you could see it. And then she'd hand it to me wanting me to take some of it. Grandma, drink some, Grandma. I really didn't want to drink that. So you know, just eat anyone, when they're drinking stuff out of a can or a bottle or anything, there's bound to be some remnants from their mouth that goes back in the liquid. Especially if it's kids, little kids drinking it. But I always said, well, it's sweet germs. It's loving germs. Oh, things that little grandbabies will do. I'm going to have to put another cough drop in my mouth, I guess. That AC unit keeps kicking on, and that air hits under the table, and it blows the air in my face, along with dust or little particles of whatever's coming out of the vent. So that's why I start coughing every once in a while. It's running right now, and it's blowing air up my face. I said I need to find me another Go Live place. I don't know where it's going to be. It might have to be in the bedroom. I'd love to do it outside, but mosquitoes are terrible out there right now. I mean, I could use some mosquito spray. I did last night when I was out to the fire pit. I sprayed my legs and arms and all around my neck and everywhere with that spray. And they didn't bother me then, but then I could breathe the insect repellent, which I don't like. I misunderstood the answer. Did I see if so, would you just fry them up in the pan and then make your gravy stuff? What are we cooking? I missed the comment wherever you said something about what you're cooking. You're right, Miss Amy, they're dangerous. Can you use eye of round family pack boneless beef for Swiss steak or something like that with gravy and mushrooms? Yes, ma'am, you can. If I buy eye of round, usually it's thin, and it's one great big slab of meat. I'll divide it up into the portions I want it to be. I'll tenderize it a little bit with my meat mallet, and then I bread it and fry it just like I do cube steak or any of the other stuff. And it's real good and makes good gravy too. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, that's what I do with it. If you have a meat mallet or even a rolling pin that you can hit it, beat it up, tenderize it a little bit, and then you can flour it, fry it, and make your gravy. I've done it with eye round quite often. Yeah, that'll work great. Make you like a little country fried steak with it, is what I call it. Good job burning that tree. I tell you, that cedar and mesquite tree, when that stuff burns, it puts off a lot of heat. You can't burn very much of it at a time, or you can't get within 20 feet of it. Yeah, it'll work great, Susan. Yeah, I timed it pretty much just right to burn those two trees last night, because I started a couple of hours before dark, and I said I figured by the time I got the little patches mowed that I wanted mowed, and burnt the limbs. Sorry about that, y'all. By the time I got the little patches mowed that I needed mowing, and then by the time I got those tree limbs burnt, and I was trying to get them burnt down low enough that I didn't mind walking away from the fire pit. And I hit it just right. They burnt quick enough that right at dark, I was able to end my video and just walk around the edge of the fire pit, check to make sure there was nothing hanging out that could, set anything else on fire, make sure it was all within the fire pit, and then I came in the house. And every once in a while, I'd look out the window and check on it to make, see how it was going. And it was fine. No problems. I've been here since I was born. Still hate the heat. Well, North Carolina is hot, but it's a different kind of hot. There, it's humidity, high humidity hot. I mean, you step outside and it's like stepping into a hot shower of steam. That's the way it is where I'm from, because it's all lowland, swampland, basically. And out here, it's the dry heat. And people claim that you can withstand dry heat longer than you can heat with a lot of humidity. I don't know. It never got 105 or 110 degrees in North Carolina when I lived there. I mean, we thought it was a heat wave if it hit 98 degrees. 95 was hot. But you hit 110, 115 degrees, and it's done it many times here since I've lived here. That's like being put in an inferno. You can literally crack an egg on a rock out in the yard and it will fry it. Crack an egg on the hood of your car if it's parked in the sun and cook your egg right on the hood of your car. That's no joke. Gladys says, I'll be watching on TV. Pad is blinking off and on. Okay, Gladys. We'll know you're still watching, though. Global warming is a hoax. No, we're not just getting old. I mean, last year was crazy. This winter's been crazy. This whole past month has been crazy with storms every single night. And now it's all heat hitting us. No rain. It's all heat. And I'll never forget, here a couple of winters ago, we had that week-long ice storm. It snowed and we had ice and snow covering everything for a week. I mean, it was to the point where the electric company turned off everyone's power for an hour and then they'd turn it back on. And they'd alternate. They'd turn ours off here and turn somebody else's on for an hour. Then they'd turn theirs off, turn ours on for an hour, and keep going back and forth. So everybody could keep their refrigerators cold, their freezers stayed frozen. Their heaters and furnaces came on enough that it kept their house, kept them from freezing in their house. Your friends' community comments are not showing up. Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't, not on the television. Oh my gosh. Somebody got into the wrong comment box. It said to translate it to English, which I did. And I think I know the video that they thought they're watching or been watching, but they're in here chatting in my comment box. I'm going to read it to you. And like I said, it was not in English. I had to translate it. And it does have a translator on the comments box, not the live chat. She says, your behavior toward a married wife is betrayal. Your wife is good and respectable. She left everything for you and your family. She sold your beautiful house for the lowest price, lost her land and everything, and took great care of your daughters, and now you treat her badly and shamefully. That's Shaka, because I've been watching that video. Because that's what's going on Shaka right now. And there's another one below it. Girls, you can tie scarves around your neck while you work because they're interfere with you and are not convenient for your working. They have definitely gotten the wrong comment box. It says here, because of all the arguing, you didn't even notice that the house was almost finished. Very nice engineer will be amazed. Good gracious. Yeah, that's that other video that I've been watching. How did they get their comment box in my comments under my live video? That's weird. Strange things happen. There's 200 comments, but it's all for that other video. I don't know why it's underneath my comment box. I just put my own in there telling them this is my chat, my comment box, not Shaka. But I've got 200 comments in my comment section. That is strange. Yeah, that's weird. That is totally weird. Maybe that's why my comments are not showing up on some people's feed, is because they somehow got it crossed over with this other video. Yeah, it does. It takes a long time. Some people, they'll try to watch my lives as soon as I end it, and they wonder why the live chat doesn't show up or the comments. And I've told them, I said, because it's got to go through a process. And sometimes it takes hours to process the chat box before it appears on the replay. Yeah, YouTube does a lot of strange things. Well, I can refresh my live on this laptop and see what happens. Maybe it'll go away underneath there. I don't know. We'll see. Go back to live chat. I'm going to check my comment section and see what's down there now. Right now I have no comments at all. So evidently that got rid of them. Y'all realize I got 5,890 some subscribers? 5,890 whatever subscribers right now. Almost at 6,000. Monty Goes Boom. Well, hello, Monty's Goes Boom from Waynesville, North Carolina. Well, hello from North Carolina. I'm originally from a little town called Atkinson, North Carolina. And there's Tenny. They showed up. Hello, Tenny. Yeah, there's no comment section at all down there now. I just have my live chat box up. But I thought there was supposed to be a comment section down there. Even during the live, it's supposed to show up. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Well, happy Sunday to you too as well, Tenny. Well, thank you, Dennis. Are your grandkids with you today? Well, I've got 44 watching. I got 41 thumbs up. And I got a couple of super chats. So I'm tickled to death over that. Like I said, I don't ask for super chats, but I welcome everyone that anybody gives because, they go to good use. And there's Liz Daughtery. Hello, Liz. How's Liz doing today? Yeah, but the heat's getting to them now. It's gotten so hot after we've had so much rain. They were getting used to cooler temperatures with a lot of rain. And now the rain stopped and the heat's kicked in. It's been like 94 degrees for days now. The plants that are growing in the shade or partial shade are still doing pretty good. The ones that are in the sun are not. And I just can't cover all of them up as much as I've tried. Susie, you are probably lagging on your end, the red line above. Chat, put your finger on it and pull to the right and we'll make it current for you. I don't have a red line above my chat. Oh, look at there. There's another super chat. Race Masters, thank you. Thank you so much for that super chat. Yeah, I need more than that. I need lots more than 6,000, which I'm almost at now. But hey, I'm getting there. And there's Chip Wisner. Hello, Chip. New sub. Well, thank you for subbing to my channel. And welcome into our live chat. New York, Pennsylvania, here, 78 degrees, 57 tonight. Just wanted to jump in and say hello. Love your videos. Just turned 62 early this year. Now semi-retired and loving it. I hear that. I retired and I still worked even after I retired when I got my immune system back up. And I think I put in more hours on YouTube than I did on the jobs when I had a public job. Oh no, Shelly or Sheila, 104 degrees. I don't want 104. You can keep it. 95 is enough. I don't want 104. Chip's cooking chicken on the grill. I think I'm going to go eat dinner with Chip. Well, thank you, Connie. Chip says I work part-time driving a van for special needs kids, keeps me active and adds to the social. Yeah, I hear that. That's why I'm doing YouTube. I had to have more money than what my check brought in. I said I won't know till I try, so I tried, and I'm still with it after what going on 3 years now. And I used to say I can set my own schedule. And I can kind of do that, and I can take a day off. But the thing of it is, if I don't put a video up, I don't make any money. So you just will say I work on it every day. I do videos every single day. And there's True. Hello, True. How are you doing? Welcome to our chat. I don't think I've seen you in before. You must be a new subscriber. If you are, welcome. Yeah, usually the nights will cool off here for the most part. But sometimes when it gets to be like 110, 115 degrees during the day, the nights are still pretty warm. True is from southern Louisiana. Well, welcome to my chat. Welcome to my channel. I tell you, when I tell people I get so busy that I don't have time for anything, people don't realize my garden is bigger this year than it was last year. So it takes a lot more time to do stuff out there, which I've got stuff I need to be doing right now and I can't. It's too hot. Like cutting my okra. My okra's got too tough because I haven't been out there to cut it. Been washing dishes and clothes. Yeah, I can imagine in South Louisiana they have quite a bit of Philly gumbo. Try some red beans and rice and pork jows. I've eaten red beans and rice before, and they were probably seasoned with some kind of pork. Shelley Edwards says, okra. Yeah, I got okra out there, and it's gotten too tough on the bush because I haven't been out there to cut it. I got to pull part of my peas up or beans, because they weren't the type of bean that I thought. And I don't want the kind that's growing. I wanted the foot-long beans, not the ones that are out there. So I've been pulling them up. I'm going to replant. Yes, ma'am, I do, Diana Hinkle. It's the information should appear below my videos. I have a GoFundMe. I've got a Patreon. I think PayPal. I got several ways that people can fund me if that's what they want to do. Or they can put it in Super Chat. It just depends on how you want to do it. I don't think it's showing up right now, but yeah, if you'll look under the video and look where it says donate, and you can go to hit more, where it says more, a menu will drop down, and there's a GoFundMe, there's a PayPal, Patreon. I got them kind of mixed up because the Facebook and YouTube is not a Fund Me account, and I need to separate them. But the Patreon, GoFundMe, and PayPal is. I mean, you can use any of those. I don't know if they can or not. Can a mod share a link to the membership? I mean, they probably can. I don't know how to do it because I've never done it before. All I know is try and see what happens. All they've got to do is hit the join button if that's what they want to do. Over on the right hand side below the name of the video in the live, it says join. You can click on that button and it'll let you join as a member on YouTube. Yeah, Susie, just hit the join button under my video. It shows up there on the left where my name is. I got mosquito bites on me from last night. Not many because I used that spray. I got a couple before I come in the house and got that spray, but once I put that insecticide on me, sprayed down, they didn't bother me after that. I have to be careful with using that mosquito spray though, because I am allergic to insecticides. So I don't like smelling that stuff. I think you can have a free membership or a paid membership. I think you choose. No, I'm sorry. It's $4.99 a month to join. And then it shows underneath the loyalty badges that you earn. I was wrong about that. On my Patreon account, you can join as a free member, or you can join as a paid member. But on YouTube, it's $4.99 a month. Deep wood spray. I don't remember what it. Here, I got it sitting on the table because that's where I put it last night when I came in. That's what I used. I was trying to turn it where you could read it, but there's a I was trying to get that glare off of it, and I don't know how to do it. But that's what I've been using. Tick Defense. It's unscented, but it's Repel is the name of it, the brand. I've got several different ones I use, but I think that works the best for mosquitoes. That's up to you, Dennis. I mean, I love to have people join, but that's totally up to you. Yes, it goes into my account. I have a GoFundMe account. The money goes straight to that account that comes to me. When you join on YouTube, that money comes to me. Whenever you join and the money is paid in, it goes straight to my can't think of the name of it now. But it goes straight to the account just like my other money goes to that I earn on YouTube. It all goes into one pot, so to speak. Just like the super chats. When someone does a super chat, it's fed straight into an account that I get paid off of. Oh, Connie's showing you the Patreon. But if you'd rather watch YouTube, because YouTube is where I go live at all the time. I don't think I ever go live on Patreon. You might want to just join YouTube. I don't know. It's up to y'all. I'm not telling you to do either one. I put them there because some people wanted to join. You know, they wanted to GoFundMe. They wanted PayPal accounts. They wanted different accounts to send me money and different things. So that's why I set it up. Well, the link is below the video. If they'll click on more where it says donate, you'll have the GoFundMe link, you'll have YouTube, you'll have PayPal, you'll have Facebook, you'll have Patreon. You'll have all of it. Just in case anyone needs the link. Okay. I'll be doing that. I shouldn't have said I'm poor because I'm a poor rich man. My grandkids. Had to step away. Sloppy to bake potatoes for... Make sloppy Joe and bake potatoes for supper. That sounds good. Yeah, but all the links are just right below the video, and it's right below the live feed. You just have to see wherever that... It says donate. You click on more. I think it says more there. You click on more, and the whole list will come up. Well, you know what? I fixed it with real ham, and then I have also fixed it with just a whole can of Spam in it. But I browned the Spam real well before I mixed in the rice and the vegetables. And oh my God, that Spam tastes like ham. It was just as good as the ham was. But what I fixed with part chicken and part Spam, that was real good. I've still got some of it in the refrigerator. I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. Yeah, if you'll look back on some of my videos, you'll see where I made it with Spam. That was the only kind of meat that was in it was Spam. And then you'll see, I think, another one where I did it with just ham. I had some leftover ham, so I made it with that. Yeah, I take recipes and I alter them. I say, recipes are not written in stone with me. I'm going to change them. I'm going to make them suit me. But I'll tell you the ingredients that I add myself. So if you want to go strictly with the recipe, you can. Or you can do what I do. Do your own thing with it. No, you have to turn it in at the end of the year. And if there's any taxes to be paid, then you pay it. Last year, this past year, or this year, was the first year that I had to file the income on my tax return. But I didn't pay anything because I didn't make that much last year. I made rice and chicken, or chicken and rice. Same thing as hen and rice. I've got a video on it. And I got some turkey carcasses I need to pull out of the freezer and start making some soup and pastries, turkey pastries and stuff like that. Because I got to start getting some of this stuff out of the freezer. No, none of it is taxed. They send you a statement at the end of the year of earnings, just like any other job. But they don't withhold tax. They don't withhold anything from it. They don't take out from Medicare, taxes, or anything. That's up to you to do at the end of the year. But at my age, I don't pay Medicare unless I'm on a public job and they just take it out for me. But in YouTube, I don't pay in Medicare. And like I said, this past year on my income tax, I didn't owe any taxes because I didn't make that much. Yeah, really over 67 you don't have to, but I do. I did before when I was still working on a public job, even at 72. I would file my returns just to get my return back. Because I'd always pay in money, and it was like me putting money in the bank. So I'd file my return, and I got that tax that was paid in back. And I call that my vacation money or my shopping money. And see, if you don't file, you don't get that back. But I'm not working public jobs anymore, so I at least file a return. And what I do is I turn YouTube money in as other income. When am I going to fix ham, hocks, and rice? Well, I don't know. It might be just ham and rice because I don't have the ham hocks. I've got some ham in there well, I do have a ham bone. That's not quite the same as a ham hock, though, because the ham hock probably has quite a bit more meat than my ham bone has on it. We'll see what we can do, Wilson Todd. How about hen and rice? Look on my videos, you'll see my chicken and rice. That's the same thing as hen and rice. Yeah, I always file whether I get money back or not. Even if I don't have to file, I'll file. Now, the year before, I didn't even file a return. But this past year, when I filed taxes this past year, I filed it and turned my YouTube money in as other income, and I didn't pay anything. They might have even been wondering why I even bothered to file my return. It's like, well, I'm not dead and gone yet. I want to remind them I'm still here. If I have any money they owe me, they need to send it to me. Well, when I retired, I wanted to get just part-time jobs, seasonal jobs here in Granbury, so I didn't have to drive to Fort Worth anymore. So I've worked at Big Lots as a cashier. I've worked at Lowe's as a cashier. Where else? Big Lots, Lowe's. I worked at Brahms in the produce section in their little market, like their little grocery store. I worked in there as a cashier. I'm trying to remember all of them. They were all seasonal jobs, so I got hired, and I worked through the season, and then they would let you go, and then you could be rehired the next season. And I was hoping at Lowe's that they wouldn't let me go. I was hoping that the end of the season they would just put me on and keep me. But they didn't. I had already turned 72. And their policy is once you're 72, unless you're already working for them full time, you're not eligible for hire. Now, if I was working for them full time, they would have kept me there as long as I wanted to work. It wouldn't matter if I was 86 years old. I'd still be working there as long as I could make it to work and do anything. But yeah, they don't want to hire people once they hit 72. Not at Lowe's anyway. And I decided by the time the part-time seasonal job was up at Big Lots that I didn't want to work anymore. So I hurried up and got my car paid off, and I retired. But like I said, I needed more money coming in. So I said, well, I'm going to try YouTube and see what happens. So that's what I'm doing. Now, before even I was a substitute teacher or any of that stuff, I went to school for computer science. And I had gotten a lot of jobs for construction companies, building companies, furniture companies like Al Tiller and Associates. I worked for them for about 2 years. And it was upgrading their system. They had just put in a computer system. That's when every business was returning to computers. And they were putting in a computer system. So everything of their back jobs for like 4 years had to be entered into the system, as well as the current jobs and a lot of other stuff. And then I was also auditing their back jobs to make sure everything was correct and didn't look suspicious in any of it. Because their company had been losing money and they couldn't figure out where the money was going. And so that's what I was doing with them. I was getting the bugs out of the system. I was upgrading their files, putting it all in the system, auditing the files as I went through them. And that's one way I kind of saved the company, because I found where their money was going, or part of it. But that also ended my job, because the bank told them they could give them another loan to pay off debts and keep their business going, but they had to cut their payroll. And I was one of the first people they cut, unfortunately. They thought they could hire someone cheaper to come in and just do data entry. Well, they found out they couldn't, because the little girl they hired couldn't keep up with the work that I did. Because I knew what I was doing, I've done it for a long time. So, anyway. And before that, I worked in a sales office for about almost 10 years. Selling advertising to businesses. Doing ad layouts for their business. That type of thing. But I got tired of driving to Fort Worth. I drove to Fort Worth for about 10 years doing that, and I was tired of it. I was tired of driving in the snow and in the pouring rain and spending an hour going to work, an hour coming home, and it gets old. And the way the gas prices were going up, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. So getting close to retirement age, I said, I'm going to just take jobs I can find here in Granbury. I said, I don't care what they are, as long as I can do them and it's a decent job. I'll do it here rather than put all my paycheck in the gas tank. So, yeah, I remember when gas was 4 and 5 gallons for $1, y'all. You can't even get a half a gallon for $1 now. Yeah, we grew up in good times. Prices were a lot cheaper than they are now. You never were worried about drugs, and I didn't even know what drugs were. Drugs to me were something that doctor prescribed for you when you got sick. Yeah, exactly, Tanny. That's why I didn't want to have to drive anywhere. I said, I don't mind working at like Home Depot or Lowe's. I don't mind working at Brahms or any of those places. Big Lots. Got good discounts. If any of y'all saw my Christmas videos of my yard and stuff, all of the sleigh, the reindeer, the unicorn. Most of that stuff came from Big Lots when I worked there because they had a 50% off sale. And then I got another like 10% off because I was an employee. That's the only reason I could afford to buy them. So I got a bunch of that stuff when I worked there, and I still have it. I pack it away in my shed, and I put it out every year. And the little Santa Claus with Mrs. Santa standing in the doorway, leaning over, giving one another a kiss on the cheek or a kiss on the lips. I actually made that out of an old door. I took an old door that came off of the shed when I redid it myself because I bought a new door and I can't quit coughing. I took that old door down and I put it in the shed because it was an aluminum door. And I said I'm never going to use it as a door again, but I might find a use for the aluminum on it. So I come up with the brainstorm one year that I wanted a Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus standing in their doorway for Christmas with a wreath on top and all this. So I took that old door out and I took the wire cutters or tin snips and I cut it up. And I made that little house or the door front, the house front with the door with Santa and Mrs. Claus in front of it. And then I've got a solar light that shines on them at night. So it'll go back up this year. Dennis says, I hope I'm alive at 76. What makes you say that? Are you in such bad health you don't think you'll make it that far? Thanks for COVID, Tenny. What does that mean? You think Tenny brought you COVID? The cat that's around here, I call Little Buddy because he hung out with me in the garden all the time a couple of years ago. And I just named him Little Buddy. I said, well, you're going to be my little buddy, aren't you? Because he'd follow me around the whole time I was working in the garden. And he still does. But now we got the other cat that came up. And I really don't want another cat. He's not been fixed or anything. Somebody put him out. He's a sweet little kitten, but I really don't want another cat. And I don't have the money to take him and have him fixed. Oh, you're telling her because you get to work from home because of COVID. He or she, I don't know. I think Tenny is a female. I'm not sure. And then, this past year I had one of the subscribers send me the cat, the blow-up cat that looks like Little Buddy. I tell you what, Little Buddy looked that cat over when I had it inflated in the yard. He didn't know what to make of that big cat out there. You work from home 2008, 2022? Yeah, I don't know. I think the only way they'll fix them for free here is if you just drop the cat off at the shelter. And then they might do it. And then you have to pay the $25 to adopt the cat. And there's Larissa. Hello, Larissa. Welcome to our chat. Oh, wow. You were working for the Home Shopping Network? I used to watch that all the time. But I finally decided I need to quit watching this. It's going to get me in trouble. I stopped before I started ordering stuff. Hi, this is Brooklyn DDS in grandkids' granddaughter. Well, hi, Brooklyn. Yeah, you get employee discount when you work places like that. Years ago, I did order something from Home Shopping Network, and it was a emerald and diamond ring, believe it or not. And it was so cheap, it was inexpensive, I couldn't believe. I ordered it because the emerald is my birthstone. Oh my God, that ring came and I could not believe it. That was a beautiful ring, y'all. Had tons of diamonds and tons of emeralds in it. It was well worth the few dollars I spent for it, that's for sure. I've never been able to order anything else from them, though. Larissa says, I just turned 50 and love gardening. I had recently lost my job due to cuts in the company, so decided I'm going to try YouTube and plant and do stuff I love. Well, I found there's so many people out there that are doing gardening. They're even doing container gardening. The thing of it is, their gardens are beautiful, and if they plant in pots and stuff, it's beautiful. But a lot of them don't tell you where they're at. And you may not be able to grow stuff as well as they do where you're located compared to where they're located. That's the only problem I have with a lot of these gardening shows. You have no idea what state they're in. They could be in a state that gets a lot of rain, that never gets above 95 degrees, and they don't have to worry about heat and drought like Texas does. So my only advice to people that start a channel on doing any type of gardening, right up front, let these people know what part of the country you're in, what state you're in, so they know whether they can relate to your growing style or not. And these channels make good videos to watch, but they're not very informative if you don't know where they're located. Because like I said, what works for them is not going to work here for me. I guarantee you. It must be you, because I'm not freezing on my laptop here. And I'll guarantee you, if my channel was going to freeze up, my laptop would be the first one to freeze. Or try to pick something that you can do a channel on that no one else is doing. And I know that's hard to do, because there's so many thousands and thousands of YouTubers. But if you can pick something and keep adding things into your videos and set your channel up to where you can put those in your videos that no one else is doing, that's what people will go watch. I was watching, just for the heck of it, a video earlier today, and it was on gardening. Oh, her garden looked fabulous. I mean, amazing. But the amount of money they spent on that garden was unreal. And she didn't have to tell me how much money she spent. I know it was way, way, way more than what I could even consider spending on planting flowers, vegetables, or anything. And then when she was going to show you how to plant stuff, she already had her soil in her pot. And you could tell by the way she moved it around that it was potting mix. And then she planted like 10 different plants in one little pot. So it looked like they've been growing there for a year already. I can't do that. Yeah, my garden is all about budget friendly. I mean, I buy a few things once in a while for my garden, but I try not to. I try to spend as least money as possible to grow my garden. That's why I got into producing my own soil, composting in place, making your own compost tea, which is plant food for your plants, so you don't have to throw fertilizer to them all the time. Now, I do get fish emulsion, and I mix it in the water some. Like if I water 1 day a week with my garden hose, I try to water the next time that week with my compost tea, and I may put a little bit of fish emulsion in that compost tea, and that's basically my fertilizer. Or I might try to add a little bit of oh, what do they call it? The worm droppings, worm castings, or whatever. I'll put a little bit of that in my compost tea and leave it, and water with it. And that's basically the fertilizer I use. It's mostly compost tea, but you can add the fish emulsion and the worm castings once in a while. You don't do that every time. Yep, dry milk, coffee grounds, manure, all that's great. Why did the ham leave the hospital? Hello, DNS and grandkids. I thought you were already here. Or is there another Linda that came in? I don't see. Oh, okay, Dennis. Go ahead. I'll answer any question they have, or they can chat with me. He was cured. I never would have thought of that. And my grandparents used to cure hams in the smokehouse. I should have known that. But I gotta warn you, and I don't care if you do um, another channel on growing in pots and totes, because there's a lot of them out there. I don't know how many more there are in Texas, but it's going to be a hard road, because just gardening in Texas, there's so many gardening channels, it's unreal. That's one reason I added cooking, cooking what you grow, and other entertainment. I put in crafts. I made those aprons, in videos that I've added, because I found that some other videos will get more views than my gardening videos will sometimes. Just depends on what I'm showing. You got it from an art magazine? Supercharted. Hello, Dennis's grandkids. How are you folks doing today? I'm so happy that you watch me with your granddad. Yeah, I figured you were the grandkids. You having a good day with your granddad today? Is that Brooklyn doing the chatting right now? We caught some fish for Granddaddy. Oh, wow. You gonna cook those fish for dinner tonight? Carter's talk. Okay, Carter's chatting. You gonna help Granddad cook those fish for dinner tonight that you caught? Yeah, Susan's got her a garden on her deck. She's even got sweet potatoes planted. I told her I hope she knows that she's got to have somewhere for that vine to grow. It'll be pretty, but it'll grow up the deck post. Daddy's gonna cook them, or Granddaddy's gonna cook them. Oh, you got 8 bass! Wow. 8 bass. That was a good catch. Okay, Susan, you do that. Take some pictures. Well, Susan sent me sweet potatoes with slips starting to grow on them. I had one already started, and I had other subscribers send me sweet potatoes to start growing. So I've got like 3 or 4 different types of sweet potatoes, and they're lined up on my porch railing out here in containers, either growing sprouts, and I've already got one sprout broken off, and I put it down in just a container of water so it will root. And then after it roots good, then I can take it and plant it. I really haven't decided where I'm going to plant it yet. I've got a tote that's empty that I planted in last year, and I'm thinking about putting it over here on this side of the yard because I think it'll do better if it's in mostly or partially shade for the sweet potato vine. So that's where I'm thinking about planting one of them. But I'm going to have so many, I'm not going to know what to do with all of them. And there's Catherine Bellarose. Hello. Glad you could make our live chat today, Catherine. I mean, there's places that are close to me, not more than just a few miles away, that are on lower land country, lower bottomed out, and their ground holds a lot more moisture than it does up here on top of this mountain. And people need to know that when you're trying to tell them how to grow stuff. They need to know where you're at, what your climate is, how hot it gets, how cold it gets, how much rain you get, so they can compare it to their growing conditions to know if they can grow the same way you are, if that makes any sense. is making a grilled cheese right now and watching at the same time. Well, make a grilled cheese for me. I'm getting hungry. Been hungry for grilled cheese. I tell you, there was a while. Oh, there's Larissa's Lifestyle. Hello, welcome to chat. Alabama has bipolar weather. Oh no, you became allergic to sweet potatoes because I taught English in China. Too many baked sweet potatoes. Susan's making her honeydew list. Well, I've got a honeydew list a mile long, and I've still got a honeydew list that I haven't even written down. If that tells you anything. If I was 4 or 5 people, I might could get it all done. I don't know what kind of weather we're going to have this year. The weather's been crazy off the chart the last couple of years. I mean, who would have thought a couple of years ago Granbury, Texas would have had a week-long snow and ice storm? And there's Adventures of Backwoods Living. It's hot there today. It's probably hot everywhere today. Yeah, it's 95 here. But I know with this extreme heat we're getting now, if it doesn't rain some, I'm going to lose part of my garden. I know I will. It'll just burn up. I'm not going to be able to keep it watered enough. Yep, that's true, Torn. 67 degrees in Detroit. And Catherine said it's in the 60s where she's at. Humidity very high. Come down to San Antonio. It's like Vegas. Very hot. Well, I've been to San Antonio before, and yes, it was hot. And I've been to Vegas, and yes, it was hot. But I don't think it's as hot there as it was here. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. My brain is on the food now. Susan's son is close to Detroit, Rice. If I had more of me, I could get my picture and learning done. Yeah, and I've got to move that 5-tier planter again because now it's getting so dry and hot. It's starting to kill some of my seedlings. All of my geraniums that came up, the sun burned them up. Now I don't have them anymore. I'm going to have to replant them if I get any. If I had if I had more of me, I could get my pictures and learning done. You had a pelican show up on the shore first time in 100 years. Wow. Research. I have no idea, Wilson Todd. I don't know what to think about UFOs. I mean, they're out there because everything that flies in the sky, people can't identify it. Now, does that mean it's alien? I don't know. It could be something we've got up there, and just a regular person wouldn't know what it was. And they'd say it was a UFO, unidentified flying object. Now, I think there's little flying saucers going around with little green men in them. I don't know. I seriously have my doubts about that. In my 40s, work and kids, still playing like a kid. 72 in Pennsylvania. Nice skies. Nice blue skies. Oh no, an alligator showed up in New York waters. Must have been something to do with global warming. Either that or somebody had a baby alligator once upon a time and turned him loose in the sewer because he was getting too big to keep in their apartment or their house. So he got in the sewer system and ended up in the river. Could you imagine how many pets that people buy end up that way? Like snakes, turtles, all kind of fish, alligators, crocodiles. They're real cute when they're babies, but when they get big, you don't want them around. Sorry. Could lose a foot or a hand real easy. That's how snakes get in your house here. They come up through the commode. Oh my God. The first time I ever saw a snake come up in my commode, I'd be moving. Oh Lord, I could not. I'd be scared to death he'd come out of that commode and end up in my bed one night with me in there sleeping. No, I could not handle that. Well, there's a creek not too far from here, but I think most of the snakes stay down close to the creek water. The other snakes stay down on the lake bank. For the most part, they don't really come up on top of this mountain. There's been too much traffic, too much commotion, and there's no water up here for them, so they don't usually stay up here. Now, in the past years, I have seen a few dead ones, like water moccasins, that type of thing. But they were always dead in the middle of the street where somebody ran over them, so I didn't have to worry about them. Yeah, I'd be moving if I ever saw a snake come up in my toilet. Oh, no. No, 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 no. I've had scorpions come up in the bathtub through the drain. I've had them come up in the kitchen sink. They come up that way and climb the walls where it's rough and they can get into the cabinets. And they'll fall in the cups and the saucers or the bowls. And they can't get out because the porcelain's too slick. They can't climb out. So they'll stay in there till either you find them and throw them out or kill them, or until they die. And then you all of a sudden reach in there and get a cup, you got a dead scorpion in it. But that's the only thing I've ever seen come up through my drain. That's enough right there. You learn to start trying to keep stoppers in your drain, or have the drains that have the grate with the holes in it so they can't climb up through it. When they replaced my drain in my bathtub and in the sink in my bathroom, that's what they put in there. It's got like a cover with holes in it. The water can go out, but the critters can't come up through it. Oh wow. Yeah, Connie thinks she's got a ghost living in her house. Or her parents' house. Well, I see them in my garden every once in a while. They're usually under a rock out there. But since I've got so much going on out in the yard with rocks and rock gardens and everything else, most of the time they don't come in the house. And I'd rather for them to stay out there. Larissa says, I'll pass on all the above. No snakes, scorpions, or critters. Yeah, I'd like to pass on all of them too. I don't like any of them. Catherine says, I do believe in ghosts. Oh, wow. I don't know if I could stay there, Connie, if I thought there was a ghost living there with me. But I guess if you think it's your relative like that, a close relative, it might not be quite as spooky or as bad. I don't know. Yep, souls that don't want to move on. And there's usually reasons why that happens. It's like their souls have unfinished business, so to speak. I probably shouldn't even start talking about all that. I'll sound crazy. Yeah, dealing with the living is bad enough. I mean, I don't think I want to deal with the dead person. Really, Susan. Wilson says, how about bake some turkey legs and yams? I don't have any turkey legs. Yeah, for some reason, sometimes the spirits, the souls, can't move on. And usually because it's unfinished business. Oxtails, I've never had oxtails in my life. I wouldn't even know what to do with one. and then drain at 11 p.m. And at the time the valves were rusty closed, I couldn't turn on water. That would be spooky, Connie. Your bathtub faucets would come on at 10 o'clock and they'd go off at 11. When you can't even turn the faucet yourself to turn it on. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Larissa's fixing barbecue chicken with all the fixins. That sounds like a plan, girl. Yeah, like I said, it's unfinished business, Catherine. I mean, I've had stuff like that happen to me. Like after my parents both died, it was several years later, all of a sudden I felt this urge. I just couldn't rest. And I hadn't planned on going home to North Carolina, but all of a sudden I had this urge. I had to go home. So I wasn't working. I finally decided to pack the car. I headed home. And I went to my parents' grave when I was there, because that's where I was felt drawn. I bought flowers and put down between their graves, because they're laying right beside one another. And I know people would not believe this, not in a million years. But I don't know what was going on, what happened that this happened. But all of a sudden I saw my parents. But they were not the age they were when they died. They were back young, like they were in their 20s when they were first married. My dad was in his sailor suit and my mom was in her nice dress. And it was like, that's why I had to go home. They wanted to see me to say goodbye. And then after that, I was fine. I calmed down. When I came back home, I didn't feel the urge to go back anymore or anything. So I know in my heart that's why I went home. I had to go to my parents' grave to say goodbye to them so they could move on. They stayed around for many years before I got that urge to go home. So they had unfinished business there. And I feel like now in my heart that once I went home and went to their graves and spent time there, that now they've moved on, because I don't feel the urge to go home. I don't feel the urge that their spirit is there. You know what I'm saying? Well, good, Catherine, because that's better than you saying you sound loony bins. Well, I know she asked to see me before she died. Hospice had been coming to the house. My sister-in-law was there, my youngest brother's wife, that inherited the house. And I had just found out my mom had passed. And I said, well, I can't make arrangements to fly out tonight. It's going to be tomorrow, which was a Saturday. So I called, I made arrangements to fly out. I think it was that Saturday, the next day. I called my brother and told him that I was flying out, what time, what flight, because he would be picking me up when I got to Wilmington, North Carolina. And as far as I knew, she was still alive. They picked me up. I got in the car. We started out of the airport. And I said, well, how's Mom doing? And my brother said, she ain't. She's passed on. I said, oh no. I thought she was still alive. Well, she was. But they took the life support off. Because she was on life support for breathing and stuff. But she could still talk to you. She knew you were there. And she had asked to see me. And my sister-in-law, the younger one, to my younger brother, one of my younger brothers, I'm not going to mention names, the guy from hospice asked her, can we take her off life support, or is there someone else that needs to come before we do that, to see her? She told her no, there was no one else. She knew good and well I hadn't been there yet. I was on my way. I was doing everything I could do to get there. And my mom died before I could get there because of her. And the guy from hospice didn't realize that till we went to the viewing that night. He was there, and I was lined up with my 5 brothers as the family, the children. And he started down the line of my 5 brothers and was shaking their hands, giving his condolences. And then he got to me and he said, well, who are you? I've not seen you before. And I said, well, I'm Gloria. That was my mom's name. I'm Gloria's one and only daughter. That man was floored. He was shocked to death that I told him I was her one and only daughter. And he turned and he looked over toward my sister-in-law. He said, well, who is that? I said, that's my sister-in-law, my mom's daughter-in-law. And he went over there and told her, he said, you could go to jail for doing what you did. Telling me that no one was coming. You didn't even have the right to tell me that because you're not a blood relative. If you'd have been actually her daughter, you would have had the right to tell me, no, go ahead and remove the life support. But he said, legally, you did not have the right to do that. And if they press charges, you could go to jail. And I probably should have pressed charges because it made me so mad I couldn't stand it. But I said, that's not going to bring my mom back, But to this day, I will not speak to her. As far as I'm concerned, she doesn't exist. I will never speak to her the rest of my life. But she was so afraid that Mom was going to change her will, even on her deathbed, that she wouldn't get the house. Oh. And I shouldn't talk about this on YouTube because this goes all over the country. Yeah, I'll never forgive her for that. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about your grandkids. I was talking with Carter about fish, and we got sidetracked on somebody else's comments, and I didn't see any more of their comments. I'm sorry about that, Dennis. Where are your grandkids right now, Dennis? Well, I love them too, even though I've never met them. I saw the pictures you sent. Yep, I feel like that's why I felt that strong urge to go back to North Carolina, because she wanted to see me when she knew she was dying. She wanted to see me one more time. And I didn't get to do that, and she didn't get to see me. And I feel like that's why I felt that strong urge to go back home. I mean, it was uncanny. I couldn't explain it. I just felt like I've got to go, and I couldn't rest until I got in my car, got things packed, and I headed to North Carolina. And like I said, I kind of stayed on edge, like there was something I had to do, and I didn't know what. But I told my brother, I said, I'm going up to see Mom and Dad's grave today. He didn't say anything. But went up there, and I literally saw them. But I saw them as a young couple. And they claim when you die that you revert back to your young self. You don't look like the old person you died as. In spirit, you're the younger person. And I've heard other people say that they have witnessed that. So I didn't feel like I was losing my mind, you know. That's true, Connie. The love of your mom or your dad is a powerful bond. Like that of a mother and child. Yep, that's true. But to this day, I don't feel any hard feelings toward her. It was what it was. It happened. It's done. I've moved on. I don't sit and dwell over stuff like that. It hurt, but I'm past it now. You know, it made me feel better when I saw my mom at the gravesite and my burden was lifted. I've not felt the urge that I had to go anymore because that's why I feel like they've moved on. Both my parents have moved on. Yeah, there's a lot of people don't think of the spiritual life, the spiritual world, but there is a spiritual world out there. Yeah, I'm from one. I don't believe in holding grudges or trying to get revenge or any of that stuff because when you do that kind of thing, you're only going to hurt yourself. Um, you keep things stirred up and you're only going to hurt yourself. I mean, me not wanting to ever speak to her again is another story. I just don't want to have nothing to do with her. But I've moved on with my life. I've gotten past it. I don't dwell on it. And that's the best way you can do. Don't dwell on people that hurt you or have done wrong by you or any of that stuff. Just put it behind you, deal with it, and move on with your life. And clear your conscience of any wrongdoing because you didn't do anything wrong. They did. And that's the only way that you can go ahead and prosper in your life, really. I've got a video here a long time ago on pancakes. I did banana pancakes. I did banana waffles. I've got way over 1,000 videos out, so I've got a video on frying a little frying pan full of fried chicken and taking it out and making gravy and all that good stuff. Yes, ma'am, Catherine. Grudges can make you spiritually and physically sick. Yeah, you shouldn't carry their burden. Let them carry it. Let them deal with it. They know what they did was wrong. Linda, you have a true bond with stray cats. They love you and you love them. I love them, but I can't feed all of them, I'm telling you. Who was one of my subscribers that had over 100 cats? And she said she feeds them and all her neighbors help feed them. They're just strays that come up in their trailer park and they all started feeding them, you know. So she's got over 100 cats out and around and about. I said, there's no way I could do that. Could you imagine the cat food it would take to feed that many? Oh my goodness. Says, okay, thanks, check it out, but I'm confused about what pancake batter is the best. Well, I've used pancake batter, and a lot of times I make my own batter from scratch. I just use flour, vanilla extract, a little bit of sugar, and milk. And you can make your own pancakes. You don't have to have a box pancake mix. And then you can add your bananas, your blueberries, or whatever you want to put in your pancakes. Yeah, I love animals, but you know, I can't handle taking care of all of them. I'm not a wealthy person, so. Because you know, when you own cats or dogs, you've got vet bills to pay, you've got food expenses. If they get hurt and you take them to the vet, you've got that to do. I mean, a lot of times you don't have to take them, but say you did. It's like going to the regular doctor. You pay a healthy fee just to get your cat or dog checked out. Diana Hinkle says that is correct, Miss Linda. There is a spiritual world, and the world is the spirit. Oh, Tanny says I have 3 cats inside, 4 to 5 stray cats outside. I feed, and my cat food bill is higher than I would like it to be, but I can't let them go hungry. Well, that was this little Lucky, as we're calling him, because Gladys said he was lucky that he got fed. The first time he got food was not intended. I didn't even know he was out there. But you know how little Buddy's been ever since he got hurt. And the weather's been real nice, and he wanted to eat his food out on the porch. So I'd fix his bowl, and I'd put it out on the porch and let him eat it. I'd check back a little while later to see if he'd eaten it or if I needed to bring the bowl in, because if you leave it out there, the ants cover it. And the flies do too. So I would always bring it in and cover it up. Well, I opened the door one day to check to see if he was finished eating and if I needed to bring the bowl in. And there was little Lucky. He was eating what was left in little Buddy's bowl. And little Buddy was gone. So ever since then, he's hung around because he knows he got food that time. He'll get food again. So if I put food out for little Buddy, Lucky won't let him have it unless I put 2 bowls out, one for each one of those cats. Unless I can get little Buddy to come in the house. So I don't know what I'm going to do. In my treehouse kitchen. Well, hello. I didn't see you come in. I guess you're a new subscriber because I haven't seen the name before, I don't think. They even have animal insurance. I can't afford it. No, I can't afford it. Having an animal is just like having a child. They cost just as much. But I usually use Aunt Jemima pancake mix. Well, that's what I always used to buy when it was Aunt Jemima. I don't even know what it is the last I bought. It was some of the cheaper brands. But a lot of times if I don't have a pancake mix, like I say, I'll take some self-rising flour. And I'll put a teaspoon of vanilla in it, extract. Mix it up with some milk and an egg. And I've just made me a pancake. And like I said, you mix it up like that, you can add your blueberries, you can add nuts, you can add mashed up bananas, anything you want, and make banana pancakes with it. And I'll guarantee you, you really won't know the difference. You won't know whether it's made from scratch or if it's out of a box. Tanny said, I woke up this morning with 2 chinchillas, or chihuahuas, 3 cats, all in the bed with me. They had me pinned so I couldn't move. I bet that was a funny sight. Well, Dennis, you tell your grandkids I love them, and I'm sorry I got on another topic when they were telling me about catching the fish and you cooking them. I didn't mean to do that. Well, good, Diana. She saw my pancake video. You got, well, the possums I had under my house was causing fleas in my house. So I had to buy an animal trap, and I spent a couple of years every year catching possum. And I'd take them down the road a couple of miles, take the trap out of the car, open the little gate on it, and watch them run across the field. But I think I've got my house barricaded now where they can't get under it. Dennis says, it's your channel, Linda. Do as you do. Well, I try to do that. I've had some people in my comments say, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. And you need to put flowers in the video and you need to do this. Well, my kitchen is small, and depending on where I've got my camera, I don't have anywhere to put flowers, you know. And then furthermore, I told the lady, I said, well, if I did everything you wanted me to do in my video, it would be your video, not mine. And I wasn't trying to be nasty or anything. It's just, I do the best I can. Possum babies in my junk car. Oh, no. Yeah, they'd go under my house and they'd have their babies under the house. And that's what caused me to have fleas one year. And you can't do anything to get rid of those fleas until you get the possum out from under your house. Or I couldn't. Once I caught the possum and took them down the road and put them out, my fleas disappeared. And I've not had them since. Yeah, they tore up my underpinning under the house. They pulled part of the air conditioner or the central air duct loose. So I had to get somebody to go under there and fix not the underpinning, but the ductwork back up. And it's still not 100%. I mean, it still blows a lot of cold air right now under the house. But I said, well, it keeps under the house cool, so therefore it helps keep the rest of the house cool. Race Master says, warning to the public, possum and raccoons in Detroit, millions. What? Are you saying they're worth millions in Detroit? Well, I can catch you a few and send them to you if you want to pay the postage. He's not supposed to squat? I don't know what that comment is about. They're not supposed to squat. Eat more possum. I don't know, Dennis. I can't follow those comments. Millions, raccoons and possum. You mean there's a lot of them there? Is that what you're saying? You're not saying they're worth millions. You're saying there's a lot of them there. Oh, squat like a paid renter. I'm sorry. I didn't understand what that comment meant. Yeah, they like to squat under my house if I let them. I caught a big old raccoon coming out from under it one time in that live trap. And I felt so sorry for him. He wandered underneath the house so bad that he skint the top of his head. I mean, the whole top of his head was skint. Just like an Indian scalp was scalped. The whole top of his head was gone. The skin, his hair, everything. And I felt so sorry for him. He was in the trap. And the trap wasn't hurting him. It's a live trap. You catch him and they can't get out. But I kind of felt bad for him. I said, well, I didn't do that, you know. He forced his way under the house. That's what got him to do that, you know, scalped his head. Or he was trying to get out so bad that he just cut the top of his head off like that. But still, I took him down the road a few miles and I watched him run across the field. He was a big possum. I mean, a big raccoon. And I had taken pictures of him. I've got pictures of possums, raccoons, all of them. I got one over here right now. I think I got the other pictures in my photo album. But I put this one up on the bulletin board in the kitchen. That's one of the possums I caught under the house. He's in the live trap, looking out at me. He was just a little one. I still have my live trap, but I haven't had to use it in several years. I mean, I've opened the door and there's been a possum up on the porch trying to help little buddy eat his food. And of course, when I got up there, he took off. That's one reason I don't want to leave food out. I don't mind feeding little buddy. But if I leave the food out, the raccoons, the possum, the skunks, the squirrels, everything will get his food. And the stray cats. Yeah, that they hiss at you, you know, when I put them in that, they were in that cage. Thank God I didn't have to touch them. I just picked the whole cage up and put it in the back of my car, in the trunk. And then when I went down a couple of miles at an open field, I took the cage out, opened the door, and watched him run. I went to Farm and Ranch and I asked them, I told them, I said, I've got possums and raccoons living under my house. What can I do? And they said, well, if you live, and this was a young cowboy telling me this that worked there. He said, well, if it was me out in the country where I live on the ranch, he said, I'd just take a gun and shoot them. But he said, I don't suggest you do that. I said, no, where I live, we're not supposed to shoot firearms within the subdivision. And I said, then if I kill him, I got to worry about burying him. I can't dig a hole. I'll hit a rock. So he said, well, the best thing you can do is get a live trap. So he showed me the one I should get. Wasn't the biggest one and it wasn't the smallest one. It was the in-between size. And then he told me what to bait it and how to bait it and all that kind of stuff. And I come home with it. Now I set it that first night and I started catching animals. Sometimes I'd catch a stray cat and I'd just turn them loose, you know. Other times I'd catch a possum, or I'd catch a raccoon. I think I even caught an armadillo one time. I said, praise God, please don't let me get a darn skunk in that trap. I said, because I'm not putting that skunk in my car, and he's liable to spray before he even gets out of the cage. And I said, then I'll have that scent all over the house here, outside. That's funny, Connie. She's telling Susan that I have a raccoon that I scared yelling at him. He went up the telephone pole. Now he walks by, and if he sees me, he stands on his hind legs and hisses at me. He remembers that yeah, he remembers you hollered at him to run him off. Oh my goodness, we've been on here 3 hours, y'all. We got to get off. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I've got so much to do. I need to try to cut that okra. I need to get that melon in. I need to pick my tomatoes. I need to water some plants or put compost tea on them. because it's not my watering day. Hey, Brooklyn, how are you? You gonna help them eat that fish if your granddaddy cooks it? Good, yes. Well, good. Eat some for me. I love fried fish. Susan says, I've heard if you see a possum dead on the road, you're supposed to check to see if they have rabies or babies in their pouch and get them to a rehabber. I don't think so. I'm not touching the dead possum. These armadillos and all these wild animals, they can carry rabies and um, what is that other that the armadillos carry? Leprosy. They say they have the leprosy germ, some of them. So you don't want to go messing with no armadillo for sure. Yeah, it's getting hot like the last video I did. My poor plants were suffering. I did put water on them. Some of them are looking better. But today's heat is not helping. Okay, if we have to go now, no food in my house is safe. Oh no, I'm getting my appetite back. The virus too. I don't know what that is. I've not heard of that one. I just need to get the tough okra off the bush so it has the strength to produce more okra that I can eat. Because as long as that okra stays on the bush, even though it's too tough to eat, it's still growing and it's still sucking the nutrients and everything out of the plant. And it may not produce many new ones if I don't. What is the Hunta virus? Hunta. I've never heard. Turtles carry bad germs too. Well, I don't ever mess with turtles. If I catch them when I go fishing, I usually cut the line and let the turtle go. I don't want to keep no turtles, especially the snapping turtles. If I can possibly get the hook, I will, but if it's very jammed in his mouth, I just cut the line and let him have the hook. It's his problem. He bit into it. I didn't make him. Mice carry it, rodents, yeah. That's one thing about having cats around. They'll help keep the mice and some of the other rodents away from your house. Yeah, they say the soft shell turtles are good eating. You can make good turtle soup and all kind of stuff with it. I've never cooked turtle, so I don't know. My dad, I've seen him make turtle soup before. I don't think I ate any of it. In their droppings, I gotta Google it, yeah. You know what I'm gonna eat for dinner? I'm gonna warm up some more of my Hawaiian fried rice. And I made me some cornbread. I'm gonna eat me a piece. I'll put me some butter on a piece of cornbread and put it in the microwave and heat it up. Heat up my fried rice, and that's gonna be my dinner tonight. Yeah, most of the wild critters carry germs and stuff. You don't want to really mess with them because you never know if they're rabid or not. If they have rabies or not. I was bit by a rabbit dog one time when I was like 3 years old. He bit me on the cheek or the head or somewhere. I don't know. My mom said. I was out in the yard playing, and one of my uncles was around. He shot the dog, took the head and sent it to the laboratory to get it tested, and it come back positive. It had rabies. That's why it bit me. So I had to go through all the rabies shots. I had 21 shots, one shot a day, and every one of them went in my stomach. Don't ask me why they give them to you in your stomach. I don't understand that part. But they do give them to you in the stomach. Why not the hip or the arm or something? Why the stomach? I have no idea. Okay, Diana and everybody else, I had 2 hamburgers in a package, fried them both, and had for lunch. We'll have the other for supper. My uncle Carl, I think, was the one, or Uncle Estelle. One of my uncles, one of my dad's brothers, was there. I don't know if he was at my grandmother's hog lot or what, but I think he heard all the yelling going on or whatever and found out what happened. He got his gun and he shot the dog. And I've heard that they send the heads to this laboratory to be tested. I don't know if it's the head or what part of the dog they send. But I know he sent whatever he needed to send to the laboratory to get it tested. And the dog did have rabies. In fact, they'd already started giving me the shots before the test came back, because they were pretty sure he was rabbit. And they weren't taking any chances. I was Daddy's little girl. I'm the only girl that Daddy had out of 5 brothers, so. It is the head. Yeah, I thought it was. I would have hated to have had to done that, but it had to be done. I don't know if my dad was at home at that particular time, because like I told y'all, my dad had been making a career out of the Navy. And he was away from home a lot. He was stationed on the USS North Carolina battleship. So he was not home a whole lot. Yeah, I was 3 years old. I don't remember any of it. But to think about getting a shot a day in my stomach for 21 days, that does not appeal to me at all. And I can't imagine being 3 years old and having to go through that. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's the fastest way for your body to absorb it, is to go through the stomach. I have no idea. But I remember that they said I got the shots in my stomach. 21 of them. One every day for 21 days. Yeah, I'm sorry too, but I'm glad they had the shots, you know. Wasn't too many years before that they didn't even have a rabies shot that you could take. You got bit by a rabid dog, you just took your chances. You know, what happened, happened. And I mean, you can die from it after you go crazy, after you go rabbit yourself. It was the fat in the, yeah, right. It was injected in the stomach, not actually inside the stomach, but in the fat tissue of the stomach. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was 3. I don't remember. I don't remember any of it. I just know what my mom and dad and my friends and everybody else told me about it. That was there at the time. Yeah, it's horrible, but better than the alternative. Yeah, more painful for the dog. He gave his life for biting me. But it had to be done. You can't let a rabid dog just run around wild. There's no telling how many kids or other animals he would have infected or hurt. Yeah, the fat outside the stomach. I imagine any of them are painful. Well, Dennis, when are you going to fix that fried fish for your grandkids? I want to hear all about it after you do that and they eat it. The next time we go live, I want to hear all their comments about how good that fish was. Tomorrow, I might go live tomorrow. I still have a a food run to go. You know, I've still got those gift cards to go get Burger King, or I forgot where they're, all of them were too, but I still got some. I still got the Burger King to use. I still got some left on Sonic. I think I got about $4 or $5 left on Chili's. I could go in there and get something cheap, I guess. Get an appetizer and a drink. But then I can't monetize that. That's the only problem. Fried fish tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Oh, that's what you were saying. Tomorrow you're going to fry the fish. Well, okay. And I'm so glad your grandbabies got to come in my chat this evening. I enjoyed chatting with them, what little bit I got to chat with them. And hush puppies. I always got to have hush puppies with fried fish. And coleslaw. And maybe even some tartar sauce on the side. Yeah, they'll enjoy all of that. I'm sure they will. Heck, I'd enjoy it if I was there. I'd help them eat it. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call it on the video. I'm getting tired. I'm hungry. I got so much to do, and I know I won't get half of it done. I mean, I could stay on here the rest of the night. I enjoy chatting with everybody. In my treehouse kitchen, old yellow. Oh, that must have been the movie. They were asking you what movie. Oh, Carter, hello again. Are you telling me good night, Carter? Okay. Well, good night, Carter and Brooke. And I don't know the other one's names, but good night, all Dennis's grandkids. And I hope you're in my live chat the next time. Maybe I'll go live chat tomorrow late or something. I don't know. We'll see. I don't drink beer, Wilson. The only time I ever drank a can of beer usually was if I went out in the boat with my son and it was so hot you had to drink something. And most of the time he'd offer me a Coke or a beer. He said, Mom, just go ahead and drink you a beer, you know. So a lot of times I drink just one. That was all, because I'm not a beer drinker. I'm not an alcohol drinker. I mean, I drink one can of beer and I'm wasted. I'm a lightweight, as they call it. But yeah, I might drink one can a year for the whole year. And now, since he doesn't have his big boat anymore and he doesn't bring it over to go out in the lake anymore, I don't drink any. He's bought a smaller boat where he lives now to go fish. Just a little fishing boat, not a fun skiing boat. He had a big fun skiing boat that he got rid of. And he bought him a smaller boat, just something he could go fishing with when he gets time. The only problem is he never gets time to go. Yeah, it might, but my Coke goes just as good with my fried fish and hush puppies as that beer would with yours. I'll drink a glass of iced tea or a Pepsi or Coca-Cola, and it's just as good to me as your beer is to you. Love and prayers for your family. Yeah, love and prayers to everybody. I'm so glad everybody, especially even the newbies that came in, I'm glad you joined my channel. Tell everybody about my channel and my videos. I can always use more subscribers. I always use more people coming into my live chats. We have a good time in our chat. I love talking with people. And I try to save my chats just for communication. You know, I don't want to cook and do all this stuff in my live chats. I'd rather just be able to correspond with my subscribers, talk with you, chat with you, answer questions, you ask me questions, that type of thing. Now, if I go to the restaurant like Sonic or somewhere, I'll be live and you'll be with me. But other than that, I like this. I like to just sit here and talk with you, chat with you. Connie says, off to the kitchen for me, out of food. Here I come. Yep. Hawaiian fried rice, here I come. I'm going to pop me some in the microwave. I'm going to heat it up and I'm going to chow down. Yeah, when I was a teenager, you know, and even beyond teenage years when I was dating, in between marriages, stuff like that, people that ask me, well, why don't you drink? You can have a drink or you can drink a beer. It's like I just don't care for it. I've never cared for it. I never wanted it. And I said, what little bit I have drank, I see that it kind of messes with your mind, makes your tongue loose. Mine's loose enough. And I said, I'd rather be in full charge of my faculties. I don't need to drink alcohol or beer and then not know what I'm doing. Or do like some people, get so fallen down drunk one night, they wake up the next day, they don't know what they did the night before. I'm not doing that. No. Yeah, most of the time it don't taste good. Right behind Connie sneaking. I never drank much at all, like 4 times in my whole life, graduation, prom, and 2 times in college. Yeah, I've never drank that much in my whole life. Like I said, I drink it once in a while going out in the boat with my son, which wasn't that often. And most of the time when I went out in the boat, they always had my granddaughter, and she was little. You know, I'd spend my time hugging on her, and she'd be sleeping in my lap, and we'd be drinking Pepsi or ice water or something like that. I just didn't get into drinking. And my son is not a drunk, don't get me wrong. I mean, he'll drink a beer, but he don't drink it and get drunk and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm saying it again. We got to go, y'all. Love you. Love chatting with you. I have the best time in my chats. But I guess I'm going to see you on the next one. And oh my goodness, I got 57 thumbs up. Y'all, thanks for that. 57 thumbs up. Love it. Love it. Night, y'all. Love you. See you next time. Bye.